mean, do you know what? I think it must be. I'm going to betray partly my age now. It's got to be a good 25 plus years since I read it, but I pretty much remember blow by blow, word by word. It's a great book.
It's a fantastic book. I was actually thinking about it on the way just driving here, and I was thinking, actually, what can I say about this that is positive? Because on the one hand, this is a book with very little hope at the end.
That makes it better, though, doesn't it? You don't get that kind of Hollywood-type ending in the book.
Well, it's a raw slice of working-class life, if you like. You know, it's a story about being stuck and ostracised as a lower-class subject. You know, this is about a little boy whose life is very much dictated by place and those he lives with. So it is a story about the trappings of poverty, the low expectancy, no expectations, the limited opportunities that he has. So he's kind of defined by this hopelessness, the hopelessness of his situation, the hopelessness of his future. But he does have a period of hope and also a period of intense affection, something that he's also deprived of through this relationship with this bird.
And does it still resonate now? Because I remember when I read it, the first thought that went through my head, even at that age, was, gosh, you know, this is a little bit like what it's like round here. And you weren't used to reading growing up in Wales. I know it's set in Yorkshire, but you weren't used to reading about things that were quite common to your part of the world. It was also, I don't know, not quite Jane Austen sort of stuff, but you get what I mean. It wasn't that sort of stuff.
No, not at all, not at all. And I mean, this was written in the 60s, obviously, 1968, and that was a heyday for working class fictions. And, you know, let's not take away from the fact that the reason it still resonates today is because it's a very, very simple story of the outsider, the underdog. And we often expect nothing of that underdog, as they kind of expect nothing of themselves. But, you know, the kestrel responds to him, and so I think that's why it's still resonating today, because it's a book about not judging a book by its cover. You know, just because someone has nothing doesn't make them nothing, or nothing to you. You know, it's about kindness and it's about love.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the kestrel's obviously a metaphor, and you wonder if they were to remake it. It's not had the remake treatment yet, has it? What they'd use, would they still go for kestrel, or would they go for something more 21st century?
It has to be a kestrel, simply because of what a kestrel stands for. You know, in terms of animal symbolism, you know, it is about a bird that has immense patience. And it's a symbol of speed. It's also the smallest of the falcon family. You know, you could call it the runt of the falcon family, which is very much what Billy Casper is. But this is also a bird who he recognises opportunities, but he acts upon them at exactly the correct moment. And, you know, there is a moral in that message, I think you'll find.
And we're going to give away our age a little bit again here. Is it still read in schools these days? Is it still on the curriculum, do you know?
It is. Both on, it's on GCSE, certainly. And I've just set up a new module at Bangor University in working class fictions as a creative practice, and put it as a set text there too. So
where does it stand on that, to your mind? Is it near the top, or
in terms of
working class literature?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those books. It's a must-read. I mean, it's actually the week that we're doing it. It's under the theme of kids, kiddlehood, and cares. Simply because we are talking about social issues that affect our youth, how they were portrayed in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and how they're now portrayed in contemporary literature today.
Well, great to speak to you.